Hey everybody, it's me, Banshee, again with my third in the series I call Soul Stories. And basically, the idea behind Soul Stories is to encourage you to look at your life in a magical way, to recognize the synchronicities, the messages, the things you get from spirit, and how magic works in your own life. And also, here I am again in my librarian shirt and with my book on it. We all have fascinating stories to tell and share with each other. I don't think I'm any more special than you are, but I do want to share my stories with you to encourage you to share your own. You know, it's a great thing when we're all like living books. So come on out there, get in the world and share your stories. Somebody could learn something from them. And today's story is one that's very near and dear to my heart. It's I don't mean any disrespect here to Catholics or Christians with the way I named this soul story at all. I have the greatest of respect, and I call it basically my Aunt Mary, Cindy the cat, and the radioactive Jesus story. Well, actually, the radioactive Jesus picture story, because that's what it's all about here, and it is a spirit communication story. So I want to share this with you. You know, my aunt passed away in the year 1997, and it was a very rough year for me when that happened. And we inherited her cat, Cindy the cat, and very skitty calico. It took a while for us to even get her to trust us. The only person she trusted outside of my aunt was my mom. And so we had to do a lot to coax her into our lives and get her into our house, which we did. And we were very happy, contented, well, you know, and sad that my aunt was gone. And the year now is 1999. And this part of the story I want to share with you as well, but I'm going to try to be briefer about this because it's not the main crux to the story, but there was something really strangely magical that happened here, so I want to share it with you. We were part of a circle at the time, and we were doing some things, and we had some issues with a person or two in our circle. Actually, it was a couple, and the person who was in our group hooked up with somebody who wanted to join our group that a number of us had reservations about in the end. It just wasn't working out, and so we finally had to say, no, we couldn't, we weren't going to allow this person to join. And needless to say, it caused some very serious repercussions for us because I think basically we were right. And so there was a lot of tension. There was a lot of nervousness that I had. And this one week in particular, after we broke the news and just everything seemed to hit the fan, I was very tense and I was very nervous. And I couldn't unwind myself. I just felt some really horrible feelings of dread. And I was pacing around the house. Every sound would make me nervous, like something was wrong, something was happening. And I couldn't sleep at night. And I started sleeping on the couch in the living room because I felt I needed to be ready for anything, like somebody was going to intrude on our space. And so that week went by, and that next weekend we were supposed to get together with our circle at a house we were going to move into down the street, my mother's old house, as it turns out. And so we were going to do a working there. We were going to show people the house and, just talk about plans for the future, especially after this horrible episode happened with the two other, people. Well, obviously that one person left and we wouldn't accept her partner. Well, and also they knew at the time that we were going to be gone from our house. Well, we left our younger teenage son there, and we went over to the house and we were showing them around when all of a sudden there was this frantic knocking at the door, and it was my son, and he was telling us that our garage was on fire. And so we were like in shock, and we raced back to the house. The fire department was already there, and we were watching as the garage was really badly engulfed in flames. It didn't all come down, but cinders were flying everywhere, and some of them were starting to hit the roof of our house. And so we talked to the firemen and said, should we get our cats out of there? Suddenly we were in this horrible panic, that the house was going to catch on fire too. And just all kinds of thoughts were racing through our head. We just didn't know what to think. So they said, yes, get the cats out of the house. And so we're just scooping them up and getting them into the car. So then there was a problem with Cindy the cat. And so we grabbed Cindy the cat and tried to get her out of the house, and she got away from us. She got away from us and she ran away. And so that's the end of that part of the story. I will now get into the part that really involves the radioactive Jesus picture. But needless to say, what I wanted to bring up about this episode was that my fears seem to be based in some reality. Something did happen. I sensed something strongly coming at us from some source. And you know what? We do know that it was arson. There was something found outside of, the garage that indicated that. We do not know who caused it. So I cannot point fingers at all. But, there was either some negative energy sent at us that sends something towards us, or whatever. The whole thing just happened, and I am not going to point fingers. I will let others draw their own conclusions on what might have occurred here. Well, anyway, as I've said, my aunt passed away. And one of the things that we had in the house we were moving into was, and by the way, after that happened, we just started moving everything into the other house. We wanted to get out of where we were. We were terrified. And so we were already setting up a mini library in the other house, and we were pretty much moved in there. And meanwhile, we are looking for Cindy the cat. 4 weeks go by. We're checking pounds. We're going back to the other house constantly. No Cindy the cat. And so we were beyond despondent. I was so sad that I lost my Aunt Mary's cat. I was just despairing, and so was my son. We felt so bad. And so time kept going by, and finally it's 6 weeks. Well, now I'm going to introduce you to something that was a part of my aunt's life. And this is what I call her radioactive Jesus picture. And it's basically because, as you see the crown of thorns Jesus, or you see the gentle I'm trying to get it on the right one, but it's a little hard. The gentler, serene Jesus is in there, but it keeps changing and shifting. And so it always bothered me, when I was growing up and seeing this. And I used to call it the radioactive Jesus picture. And my aunt did not like me for saying that. Let me say that right now. But this was something very close to my aunt, and so I put it in my magical library, my spiritual library, because I wanted to have that connection with her there. And, in the ensuing time that she had passed, I would often talk to her through the picture and just tell her how much I missed her, how much I love her, I'm trying to take care of Mom, and, we're trying to get everything in place, and just talk to her because I missed her so much. And so when we lost Cindy the cat, I would confide with her a lot and apologize to her, and just say, I can't believe we put ourselves in a scenario, we put ourselves and our cats at risk, and I'm so sorry. And, this one night in particular, 6 weeks in, I was in tears up there. I cried in front of the picture and I said, Mary, I'm so sorry I lost your cat. I miss her so much. And so that night, we went to dinner. Gee, I'm almost crying thinking about it. We went to dinner out in the adjoining city. And on the way back, we were supposed to go straight home. And the city that we lived in had a lot of one-way streets. And so we're going down the one-way street. And instead of turning down the cross street to get to the house we were at, Mr. O kept going. And I'm kind of saying to him, we taking a detour? What's up? We stopping somewhere? And he said to me, I want to go back to the old house and see if they're working on, fixing the garage, because they were going to patch up the garage. Well, not fixing the garage. I'm sorry. They were going to put up a new fence in back because, our fence burnt down too, basically, with all of this going on. So they were supposed to put up a new fence. And so he wanted to see if it was being done. And I said, okay. So then he turns down this one alley, and I thought he was going to go turn around to the front of the house, but instead he veers into the alley behind the house. And I'm like, why are you going through the alley? You're going to get could ruin a tire here. And he said to me, well, it's the best place to see the fence. I just pass by and see if it's okay. And I'm like, all right, so we go in the back there and we're looking at the fence. And honest to goodness, if Cindy the cat was not sitting on our steps, our back steps to our house, our old house that day. And we're like, oh my God, Cindy's there, Cindy. And we're trying to call her and she's just huddled there sitting nervous Nelly that she was. And I'm like, she's going to run if we go up there. What are we going to do? And he said, I have an idea. And so Mr. O went around the alley all the way around and I'm talking to Cindy gently, from the alley. I'm not moving, but I'm just talking to her gently and she's staying where she's at and paying attention to me. He actually went in the front of the house and opened the back door quietly and scooped her up and pulled her in. And we kept her in that house that night, gave her food and water because we didn't know what she was exposed to in all that time. And we didn't want her to expose anything, our cats to anything. So we took her to the vet the next day. And it turned out even though she was moderately dehydrated, she was still in pretty good shape. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that happened. But maybe even more importantly, I cannot believe it happened the night that I spoke to my aunt directly and told her how much I had missed the cat. Because at that point, we had paid another visit to the anti-cruelties and the humane societies and these different places that previous weekend. And I decided it was over. I mean, we were just never going to find her. It was a lost cause. And I had pretty much given up. And to find her the way we did and that she was back there that whole time, who knows for how long. And we had gone there time and time again and even looked out back and she was never there. So it's nothing short of miraculous to me, if you want to use the, Christian miracle kind of analogy here. But I would also say it was a gift. And it was a gift from beyond, and I truly believe that me and my aunt was looking out for me and was looking out for her cat that she felt so close to. And so, never doubt, I would say to you, never doubt that, Spirit will answer your prayers, or, that Spirit hears you. I believe Spirit does hear you. And, I have lots of conversations to this day with Spirit. If people catch me talking to myself, talking in my car, talking in the shower, talking to pictures, that's what I do because I really believe it does work. So that's me with another incredulous soul story. But hey, I'll tell you right now, I don't believe I'm alone. Not at all. I don't believe I'm any more unique than you. And I am sure if you open your heart up to these things, if you haven't already experienced something like this, you will. Trust me. So just think about it and think about all the magic that surrounds you in your life and be grateful. That's the key, I really believe. And blessed be to my Aunt Mary, who is up there. Blessed be to Cindy the cat, who is long gone. We are so grateful. We had you for a few years more in our lives. And thanks to life itself for being such an amazing experience. And I will see you next time with another great soul story to share with you. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to join us on our live streams, Tarot for Today, on Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Thursday evenings from 7 to 9. And let us bring a little magic and divination into your life as we read for everybody. Talk to you later. Take care.